Picture this, two guys trapped in the South Charleston Public Library. One guy loves movies, the other, well, he'd rather be watching reality TV. Can they survive each other's films? Find out on Real Opposites, a library podcast about movies, hosted by Josh and Aaron from the South Charleston Public Library.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Real Opposites. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Josh.
And we're back to discuss the movies we chose last time. We're doing a Kanopy episode. So if you don't know what Kanopy is, it is one of our online resources where you get so many a month, right, Josh?
30 credits a month. Most movies are usually about 2 credits. So it ends up being about 15 rentals.
10 to 15, yeah. That's not bad. And they have a huge selection.
Yeah, I think like 30,000 titles, new movies, documentaries, classics, weird, obscure films.
Right.
They have a lot of everything. It's really similar. I subscribe to the Criterion channel.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of similar in content.
Okay.
In a lot of ways, but it's really great.
I would say you can also, usually a season of a show is about 5 credits also. So if you're not just a movie watcher,
you get it for,
I think,
you get it for like a week, I think, a season, or like a documentary series.
And the good thing about it is all you need is your South Charleston Public Library card. And those are free. Just swing by and grab one. And of course, we have many other online services, but this is a really good one for watching movies or TV.
Yeah, I think you can also watch movies on Hoopla.
You can. I just saw there were a couple that I saw on there that are newer, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize Hoopla kept up like that with their movies. So.
Yeah, so we offer a lot of great free online streaming options.
So we thought we'd pick one. We've never done a Kanopy episode, and we thought we'd pick one just to see what Kanopy offers. We did end up both picking A24 movies.
Yeah, they have most of their movies on there.
Which I'm probably going to do a run through of those eventually on my own. Because so far I do like A24 movies that I've seen, other than, what was it, Midsommar? But I need to rewatch that one. So I'll
Hereditary.
Give that a pass.
I thought you said you liked Midsommar or hadn't seen Midsommar.
Well, I didn't watch Midsommar because I didn't like Hereditary.
Those are very different movies.
Okay. Well,
one's good.
Oh, okay. Which one's not?
Midsommar.
Oh, okay.
I disagree. I think they're both good.
Oh.
Midsommar is slow, though.
Yeah.
But I also think Midsommar is very female-coded, and so,
I don't think so.
Something in it that speaks to girls more than theirs. I would say I know lots of men who don't like Midsommar, and I know lots of women who are rabidly obsessed with it. So
it doesn't necessarily
rabid sounds dangerous.
Yes,
rabid.
Rabid.
Movie makes you rabid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I once watched a movie about a rabid dog, and it scared me.
It is
it was called Cujo.
I don't want to give away any spoilers because you've not seen it, but I kind of.
All right. Well,
we could save that for the Midsommar.
I was going to say, good news. We're not even talking about that today.
Yeah.
Actually, we haven't even said what we're talking about today, so we'll go straight into that. I chose The Florida Project.
Uh-huh.
And
I chose Uncut Gems.
Yes. So I think we're going to go ahead and jump straight into my choice, which was The Florida Project.
Mm-hmm. Which you had never seen, right?
I'd never seen. Florida Project was one of those, as always, that comes out and I'm like, yes, I would love that movie. I need to see it. And then years later, I'm like, oh, that movie still exists, and I still haven't seen it. So it was a 2017 movie. I just remember seeing the trailer and being like, that looks like something I would really like. So when we were looking through Kanopy, it's the first thing that jumped out because it was something I wanted to see. And it just is cool that it ended up being, both A24s. So that's the reason I picked it. I mean, nothing other than I just had seen it. I really wanted to see it.
And if you're unaware of what A24 is, it's a production studio. They're generally regarded as very hands-off. So if they have filmmakers submit scripts, they will generally just give them a budget, which is usually not huge, and will take a very hands-off approach and let them trust the filmmaker to make the movie. Most of the time, it has worked out very well for them. They produced Everything Everywhere All at Once, which won Best Picture last year. So they're kind of riding high. Yeah, but that's what A24 is, just in case anyone was interested.
Yeah.
Curious.
The newest A24 that would be out, which I don't think we're going to deep dive into just in case we end up talking about it on different podcasts, but is Iron Claw, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's their latest one.
Which you should go see.
You should go see it. It's a terrific film.
I don't know that it's even going to be in theaters by the time it might be though. It's
yeah,
popular.
no, it'll be by the time this one comes out. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's doing really well, so it should stay around. They also did Talk to Me that came out earlier this year that we did a podcast on.
Yeah.
So they're pretty solid.
Yeah. So, but mentioning that, I guess we'll just go right into what did you think of the Florida Project?
Well, I didn't pick it, sir.
Oh, do I talk about what I thought of it?
You got to talk about it first.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought I did. I introduced it. So basically,
here for the project for you. Talk.
So basically, Florida Project, I don't even really know how to describe it. It's not a documentary, but it kind of feels like one in a way.
Yeah, cinema verite style.
Okay, there you go. See, that's why you should have talked about it. But it is just mainly following a woman and her child and the other children that live at this motel.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's one of those fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Kind of movies.
Exactly. So I was excited to watch this one. I've always wanted to watch it. And I actually really liked it. I thought this was a good movie. I like some of those fly on the wall type movies. Yeah. And I love documentaries, so I like when it has that feel, which I also read that a lot of which I kind of figured as I was going through it, but a lot of the script from the kids was just, improvised, whatever they wanted to say, basically. Yeah. So it did give you that realistic feel as well. There was definitely drama, and it pulled in your emotions for the kids, for the parents, for the motel owner. I mean, it was just, I don't know. I think it was all around good. It's not like it has a deep plot or anything. It is just what it is, like a fly on the wall type of movie. Yeah,
I mean, there's no real. It's just like you just are experiencing what the characters are experiencing.
Right.
Like there's not much of a narrative.
Right. There's not.
To speak of, and it feels, I mean, for the most part, kind of organic.
Right.
Like you're just observing.
Yeah.
These characters doing what they do, living their lives.
And it kind of gave you an insight into like what life is like for those type of people that live like that. It's like near Disney World, so it's just one of those places you pass when you're going somewhere like that looks like it's decrepit and broke down, and it's not. People live there actually. Yeah. And it's not, I mean, it's a motel, but for the most part, it's people that live there.
Yeah, I mean, it's low income people
Right.
or people on poverty, people probably heading towards homelessness.
Right, exactly.
Know? And it's kind of their last stop. So you liked it?
I did. I really liked it.
I was expecting to really like it.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about film is that, like Ebert used to say, like they're empathy machines.
Mm-hmm.
So they allow you to see someone else's point of view, someone else's beliefs, different parts of the world, how people live. And it's one of the things I love most about film. Mm-hmm. However, it comes to a point where I run out of empathy.
Right.
This one pushed that. What's her name? Haley?
Yeah.
The mom. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't take any more of her. Yeah. And that's the point. I mean, but I can only watch someone just so willfully ignorant for so long.
Right. Before
it just gets grating. And I just want to strangle her.
Yeah, and that
was CPS come take this woman away.
Right.
Get this kid in a home.
Right. And I mean I felt that way too at points.
I mean, they want you to feel that, I think. Like,
I mean, it was one of those things where I still felt for her because I mean, there was a situation that ended her up like in this area type thing. But I mean, they don't talk about it. I'm just saying, like, for some reason, she ended up this way.
Well,
but
I mean, then I can see why.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. And the more it goes on, it was like I still have empathy for her because I feel like sometimes once you get that low, it's hard to dig back up. But she could have also got a job.
Yeah, I mean, there's personal responsibility. She didn't have. It's hard to have a lot of empathy for someone who's capable, healthy, young,
right.
And is just lazy and self-indulgent and ignorant. Like
right.
There's not a lot of there for me to like invest a lot of feeling into.
Yeah.
If they had given her a little bit more redeeming qualities.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people like that in the world.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so that's okay. Just as a film, I needed a little bit
Something else.
something more to really just not make me be repulsed.
Yeah. See, I think.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, like the kids are really great.
Well,
And I feel really bad for the kids. I think
that's what I was going to say. Is I feel like I watched it.
And you do
from
see
a kid's point of view.
I mean, a lot of it's filmed from the kid's point of view,
is.
Which is good, and I get that. It just seems like it doesn't, like something just got lost.
Yeah.
And I love Willem Dafoe; he's great in it.
Yeah, he was.
I feel like the movie. I feel like in this case, with what they were trying to do, either they needed to create some more of a social context for her, like show her, trying to get a job or trying to, I don't know, something. Yeah. Or maybe it should, like, have it be from someone else's point of view that is a little bit more objective.
Right. See, and I think, and it might just be me that watches stuff weird anyways, but to me, she wasn't the main character. I watched it as if Mooney was the main character, the girl. Yeah. Mooney and Jancy and Scooty. So to me, those were the main characters, and everybody else was just extras. To me, I was following their story more than anything, and I had mixed emotions about the mom. She had a little bit of redeeming qualities in the fact that she did spend, when she was with Mooney, she made sure Mooney was having a good time. I did see her like doing that for Mooney. Yeah. So I mean, I think that was a redeeming quality, but then it got to the point, and at least she was going out, she tried to sell perfume, which actually, funny story, they shot that without a script, and she was walking up to real people trying to sell them perfume.
Yeah, I mean, it feels
which
that
I thought was really cool.
I mean, that's like, it feels authentic.
Yeah. But I think to me, it just, her not having redeeming qualities didn't matter to me because she was an extra just like anybody else was in the movie for me. In fact, if anybody was more of the main person, I felt like it was obviously the kids and then Bobby. I really liked Bobby in there, and he had a lot to do with the kids, and he was kind of involved in everybody's life.
Yeah.
So to me, I was watching it as a movie about the kids that live at a motel and the owner of the motel.
Yeah, I mean,
and that might be why her overall, because she definitely doesn't have everything you need for sure.
No, I mean, I definitely feel like at a certain point it just became her show. It just felt like I was watching her the whole.
Okay.
Like at
See, I never felt that way for some reason.
I mean, the other characters were in it, but
yeah.
They were like, she was the protagonist. She's who you're following. She's selling stuff.
And I know that's how it's set up to be.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just didn't watch it like that.
You talk about her like having like, I forget what she sells. She makes a few $100s or whatever.
Right.
But it's it's something stolen.
Right, the bands.
And the guy comes for it.
Yeah.
And, and they go to the dollar store and they're getting toys and stuff. But also, I mean, like, more than being a parent is bleeding as an example.
Right.
So,
I mean, that is true too.
This is not.
Yeah, her parenting choices weren't great. I mean,
no.
I can't say much. I don't have kids.
No.
But yeah, they definitely weren't great.
No, and it's just.
My thing with her redeeming quality that I was talking about with Mooney is just the fact that while she's not the greatest example for Mooney, I think it's kind of beyond that. I mean, Mooney doesn't really have. I mean, Bobby's probably the best example, or Jancy's grandma Stacy.
Yeah.
But I did like that she, even though it wasn't the best example of what they should be doing, I mean, yes, she stole those bands, but she could at least put that money towards rent. Instead, they were going to the Dollar Tree and buying stuff. Yeah. But she was buying stuff that Mooney wanted. And I felt like, she'd go out in the rain and play with Mooney because Mooney wanted to play in the rain. Like, they would
well, I mean,
do stuff.
Because she's more of a sister than a mother.
Right.
It's not.
I know. I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, as bad as Mooney's life actually is, if you look at it, at least she had those moments to, I don't know. I just feel like she had something to cling on to.
Yeah,
at least.
I mean, I like the person that I latched onto was Bobby, because I was like, evict her. Like,
yeah. But see, and I think William Dafoe was great.
He has infinite patience.
He does, and he you can just see he cares about his people, even though they're not his people and they're
they're
not
really
great to him.
Yeah,
and,
they're not treating him well. And,
yeah, but
like,
you can just see how good of a person he is, and I think that's why I latched onto him
yeah.
and the kids, and that's what the movie was about for me.
Okay.
So by the time it got to where she was kind of like, I want her out of this movie kind of thing,
Yeah.
I was able to just not like her because I didn't care about
yeah,
it.
we're on the same page there.
Yeah. Like I was able to just not like her. You know, like I said, I had a little bit of empathy for the fact that she provided at least some nice memories for Mooney.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was ready for them to take her for sure.
Yeah.
But I guess she to me was a side character, although that's not how the movie's set up whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I think the kids were great in this movie.
No, they're very like everyone's very natural. Even
Yeah.
Bria Benate, I don't know, however you say her name. Apparently, she was
Haley.
like a social media
yeah.
person before.
Yeah,
like,
she
this
wasn't
is pretty
even-
much the only thing she's done, really. She's done, like a couple other little things.
Which I thought was cool because they actually wanted to hire. Do you know who they wanted to hire?
I remember reading it, but I can't remember.
Well, it was either Miley Cyrus or Britney Spears, which honestly, at this point in life, I could see either one of them doing it and doing it fine. But they wanted it to have more authenticity.
Yeah, that's just going to be Miley and Britney.
Right. I love Britney. We know this. But Britney nowadays could probably
Oh yeah, she is that.
I would just put her on there and not give her a script. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think she would have done great. But I get it, pulling people that were, nobodies basically.
I mean, really,
or not theater.
Willem Dafoe's the only recognizable.
Right. I did see that Christopher Rivera, who was Scooty.
I love the names too.
He was actually just living at a hotel
Yeah.
in Kissimmee. When they spotted him, he earned enough money on the film for his family to move out of the motel and into an apartment. After the film came out, he was offered a full scholarship to Rollins College, a private 4-year college in Winter Park, Florida, and ongoing support for his education to prepare him for college. And I thought that was really cool. He literally was just somebody kind of living the life that they were looking for.
Yeah.
And now that he's done this, he was able to help his family and get a ride to
That's a great thing that
college.
came out of the movie.
Yeah. I thought that was really nice.
There's a lot of. It feels like this felt like just a lot of these movies come out every year, and they're kind of like acclaimed when they come out, and then a few years later, nobody really remembers them.
Oh, okay.
Like this was on a lot of top 10 lists, and that was the reason I was interested. And
wasn't it up for some awards or won some awards or something when it came out?
I probably was. Probably. I don't think it got any. Maybe Willem Dafoe got a nomination, but
Okay.
it probably got like a best drama. I mean, it probably won some like film festival awards
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just not. It's just not very memorable aside from the things that irk me.
Yeah.
About the Haley mostly.
So, okay. So as far as the character, you're obviously not a fan.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the stuff you really look for? Like the way it was shot and the way
Yeah, I mean,
the movie was made. How do you feel about that?
so I mean, it's shot digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Largely with largely with an Apple iPhone 6.
Oh,
And an
okay.
Arri Alexa Mini. So very small cameras, inexpensive cameras. And it does have like a nice look to it. Like it looks like, I almost thought like maybe it was shot on film. And some
Yeah.
certain cameras, in certain ways they grade films will make them look like film. And
Okay.
they'll put in fake grain.
Yeah.
And how they color grade it. It looks nice. I mean, it definitely has that, like, you feel like you're just like a fly on the wall. You're just experiencing it, observing. Like, you're not really being drawn into, you're not really being played with.
Right.
It's like someone,
It is
like,
what it
like
is.
Blowout, for instance, like De Palma.
Yeah.
So, like, something like that. It's like it's not necessarily about what you're being shown. It's about what you're not being shown. It's
Right.
what just outside the frame and what he's keeping back from you
Right.
to build suspense. Whereas this is, I mean, largely handheld, I think. And it's just kind of, I mean, it's a good, like, it's well-made film.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. How you felt about the
my main gripe is just like I need like the empathy only goes to a certain point,
right?
And
So would you say because of that character, you completely dislike this movie?
I don't completely dislike it.
Okay,
It just got grating, like really
Right.
grating, and I was like, when is this going to get over?
right,
I think it needed more of a perspective.
right,
I think if it had been more from Bobby's perspective, you would have been able to
really
see the
latch
various
on.
lives of the tenants
Right,
and get a more broad view of what life was like here. Whereas
yeah,
I feel like I mostly just got the view of the little girl Mooney, right?
Yeah.
It's a little girl, right? And Haley.
okay,
I feel like Bobby would come in and be like trying to help them or deflate some sort of incident,
right,
and then they would do something else
yeah,
that would
True.
enrage someone or steal something or do, and it felt a little bit repetitive.
yeah. And
So
and that's that's how it was supposed to be. It is following those two.
yeah,
I think it's the same as when I pick a movie and I'm like, I love this movie, and you guys are like, but it's a love movie, and I'm like, no, it's not. Like, and it turns out the love is like the main thing the whole movie's about, but I don't remember that at all. I remember the side stories.
August Rush is still blowing my mind.
Yeah.
That you didn't know that was a love story.
I totally forgot about the love part of it completely. So I think that's kind of how my mind approached this movie is
Yeah.
I wasn't watching what was supposed to be watched. I felt like I did experience the life of all the tenants.
Yeah.
Even though it was like here and there. And I think that's why the pain that you get from her never getting a job and things like that. Because I think that's why it didn't stick to me as bad or stick out to me as badly. There was a point in the movie that I was like, okay, I thought she was going to old girl. That's the technical
I don't
term.
know what that is. Please
She
choose
was
a
going
proper
to the
verb.
girl that was her friend, Amber, I think.
She was what?
Going to the girl that used to be her friend,
Yeah.
Amber, Scooty's mom.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, she's going to go. She's going to apologize.
Yeah.
She's finally going to try to get a job at the breakfast place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she just hit her up for rent. And I was like, come on.
That's what I mean. Is like there's no growth.
Right.
But I mean, at the point.
But if they had her have growth there, I think it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, you have to have. I mean, even if it's like just this documentary style, there's
Right.
like people are not. I hope not. People are not like that one dimensional.
People are, though. That's the
I
thing.
know they
and that's why
are.
this
I
movie
know,
works.
And I'm trying to be more hopeful. There's like some people I see out in the world, and I'm like, I feel like Michael from The Office, where he goes to Toby, and he's like, "Why are you the way you are?"
Exactly. I mean, I ask that question so many times a day.
And I think the Florida Project has helped me to realize that nobody can know why
Right.
people are
And
the
that
way they are sometimes.
And I think that is part of it. And that is why they had her be that way and especially, unfortunately, I'm not like categorizing anybody, but unfortunately, people in those type of situations a lot of time are like that.
They're their own. I mean, a lot of time there's their own worst enemy.
Right. Now, there's some people like Scooty's mom. We didn't really see anything bad about her. She was working.
No, she seemed responsible. She's
right. I mean, sometimes you're just at that level,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of people that when they're at that level, it is to their own demise.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we see with Haley. And it's
maybe just a little bit more like evenly balanced as
Yeah.
far as the characters go.
Yeah.
So I feel like the things I'm remembering are just Haley and
Right.
Rooney and how grating she was.
Yeah. See, and that's what I say. I think for me, it's just because I experienced it different. And that's the thing about movies, which we've talked about before. People experience movies different ways, and you can take from it in a different way too.
Yeah, any piece of art,
Which is the good thing about art in general.
Yeah, you can listen to a song and get something different, or listen to it for a different reason.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I like this. I like the beat, and you'll be like, "Oh no, I like the lyrics."
Right.
So it's that's the beautiful thing about.
Well, I'm glad you
movies.
didn't absolutely hate it.
No, I didn't hate it.
Like, I'm glad that you thought it was shot nicely and because I thought it was beautiful.
No, it looks nice
as far as the movie and just for the type of movie it is.
I think the performances are good.
Yeah, they
I
are.
think my issues lie with
The character itself.
Well, I mean, with the script.
Right, that's what I mean. The actress did great.
No, yeah,
she pulled
great.
it off great.
She got on my nerves.
Yeah,
she did great.
100%.
I just love Willem Dafoe, man. He's the best.
Yeah, he looks so familiar, and I can't think of what else he's in.
I mean, tons of stuff. Well,
like I know his name for sure.
Probably know him. He's Green Goblin and Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
It's probably like his biggest like role that
I've seen that.
people would remember, you know.
Yeah, but
he's the great guy who should have been the Joker a dozen times.
Yeah.
With that face, but he's never been the Joker.
I mean, I would watch a spin-off movie about Bobby in general.
I want to see that movie.
Yeah. And I think that's why I latched onto him, and I was like, "This is my main character."
Well, because he's like a decent person. He's like,
right.
I mean, he's doing a shit job.
He is
just basically being a babysitter,
right,
for a lot of
and dealing
childish
with
grown-ups,
the people that actually own it.
Yeah, and you know his frustration and that he must have with his station in life at this point is because I mean he's probably in his. I mean, Willem Dafoe's I don't know in his 60s, like
right.
He's like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think just I needed more, a little bit more perspective.
Okay.
Because usually, like if it's like a documentary style film like this, it still has to feel like it's moving somewhere.
Right.
And that's usually what I will like a procedural.
Right.
Kind of, you're just kind of a fly on the wall watching them trying to, solve a case or these two characters, they're dynamic together.
Mm-hmm.
And if they feel if they're more like free floating, a little bit more aimless like this, then the characters need to be more draw me in instead of repulse me.
Yeah, I get that. And that's kind of what's weird if you look at how I am with movies as far as like I like a storyline, I like character development, I like, things like that. And some of these artsy type movies I don't like, but this movie is an example of the kind of free-flowing movie. I actually love this kind of movie.
Cool.
Where it's just kind of like, hey, look at how life is here. And
I like those like snapshots of life.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I loved it. Cool. I thought it was great.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. I'm glad you didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it.
I'm glad you could find things in it that were okay.
Yeah. I mean, this movie's got to be really bad.
Yeah.
To like be like a 0-star kind of.
So it's not Tammy.
Redeeming qualities. No, it's not Tammy. I don't think on Letterboxd I can actually rate things 0 stars, which in the case of Tammy,
it just won't go on your letterbox.
hurts my soul that I can't give that 0 stars.
That's crazy that you can't rate it exactly what you want to rate it.
I know.
Can you at least give like half a star?
I can do half a star.
Okay.
But I can't do 0.
You just have to know that half a star means 0.
In my heart.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But there's very few of those that's just like, I want that time back.
Yeah. Well, I feel like anybody that has a letterbox probably is somebody that doesn't waste their time on movies that they would rate 0.
Yeah,
unless you get stuck in a podcast with Aaron.
I'm approaching 5,000 films, and I feel like I know what I like pretty well.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I think Tammy's going to be one of those.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
But that's the great thing about this podcast is we both...
You get some half stars in there.
Well, we both get to experience the other's tastes and see...
Expand our horizons
films that we otherwise would have never watched.
Right.
So, Tammy... and Mulholland Drive and The Godfather. It's like...
Oh, speaking of The Godfather, they're having some Funko Pops come out of The Godfather.
I
saw that the other day.
Cool.
Totally off subject, but that is that. All right, so, I mean, I guess that kind of brings us to the end of talking about Florida Project. I'm glad we did this episode, and we'll definitely talk about it more when we get into Uncut Gems, which is what's coming up next. Well, technically coming up next are going to be some announcements from the library, and we'll come back and talk about Uncut Gems.
Hey guys, this is Toby. Here to give you some announcements about upcoming adult programming at the end of January. January 22nd, we have Spill the Tea, which is our adult book club at 6 p.m. January 29th, we are starting Dungeons and Dragons at the library for adults. That will start around 5 and run till 8. We are looking for players. We've got lots of DMs, so we're excited to see you guys there. And then on February 5th, we have Fantastic Feast, our first meeting of our Fantastic Feast Potluck Club. If you have any questions about those things, just give us a call at the library. Thank you.
All right, so we're back from the announcements from the library, and we'll go ahead and jump into Josh's pick, Uncut Gems. So, Josh, tell us about it.
So Uncut Gems is a film starring Adam Sandler, which is not typically a film I would pick, but it's by the Safdie brothers, who made a couple films. One of them, Safdie, sorry. Good Times with Robert Pattinson, which was pretty good. And this was like one of those, like, they kind of release it late in the year to drum up awards. Oh, there's buzz.
Oh, okay.
In this case for Adam Sandler.
Right.
And I didn't actually end up seeing it in theaters. I saw it on Blu-ray when it came out. And I loved it. This is the exact kind of film that I want Florida Project to be. Because it's a fly on the wall movie. Like, you're just following him through, 2 or 3 days in his life. Spoilers, last days of his life.
Yeah.
And he's not a real lovable character. He's grating, he's annoying, but yet I still like him. I find him charismatic. I want him to succeed because he has, like everyone, he has deep-seated flaws, but he is, his very garish personality, but he's trying to not necessarily do the right thing, but at least just succeed and try to survive these few days. I think Adam Sandler is terrific in the film. I think everyone's great in the movie. I love Kevin Garnett actually turns in a really good performance.
Yeah.
But I think Sandler's like, it's almost like possessed in the film. And it's not, and it shows the cost, not just, it's almost like the opening is, you see the opal stone like being mined, and how the cost to the miners that do this, and then send it halfway across the world, and someone can sell it for however much money. You see the cost on him, like it's basically like, I think, like the personal cost of greed on a more global scale, but distilled into this one individual. And I think it's just fascinating to watch. Like, this is one of those movies I can just watch anytime, and I will be just engaged and just totally in there.
Yeah.
Because I think it's shot like I forget I'm watching a movie.
Right.
And it makes me feel like I'm just like in his storefront, in his apartment. I don't feel like I'm really examining what's going on. I'm just there. Right. That's really hard to do. So I really applaud them for that. So I think this is top of the heap for A24 flicks. And I love that. So Sandler, I think notoriously, I think he won the Golden Globe for this, or he was nominated, but he wasn't nominated for an Oscar. And I remember him saying, if I don't get nominated for an Oscar, I'm going to make Jack and Jill 2.
Which I'm still waiting for.
I know, we're still waiting. Well, he has made a lot of terrible Netflix movies.
Yeah, I haven't really watched
So I don't know if that's the same thing. But it's like, it's painful because I grew up watching Adam Sandler and like Happy Gilmore and Wedding Singer. And I like him. He seems cool. And he seems very approachable. I wish he would do more movies like this instead of making crap.
Yeah.
I get the making, like, I don't know how much he makes in a movie. Probably a lot.
Yeah.
But like, he's more capable than that. And like in Punch Drunk Love, I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I have seen at least some of it.
That and this.
Spanglish
is really good. I like that one a lot.
Spanglish.
That's James L. Brooks, who did As Good as It Gets.
Oh, okay.
In terms of endearment. I like it when he takes on a more dramatic, serious role. I just wish he did it more often.
Yeah.
So, but I'm glad we have this, and I love this movie. So, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I've always liked Adam Sandler, and I like a lot of his stuff that you don't like.
I mean, they're definitely up like the Tammy
Right,
reality.
exactly.
Like even like I gotta admit, like I can't watch Billy Madison anymore because I used to love that movie when I was in like 12, 13 years old. I used to love that movie. But
I
now
still quote that movie like daily.
I'm not saying it's not quotable. I'm saying he's the worst part of the movie.
Oh,
Like,
I love that movie.
I can't. I just want to strangle him. I can't stand the voice.
Really?
The voice anymore.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore's like that sweet spot, like where.
See, it's not on the top of my list.
It's not. Oh,
I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong.
Like that one and Wedding Singer. I think like
Happy Gilmore he almost leans too serious for that role. I don't know. It's always felt that way.
Serious?
For me. I don't know. It's just felt more not as fun.
Okay. I don't.
Look,
yeah, I don't.
I don't need all of y'all judging me with your eyes, and maybe the listeners are judging me right now too. But I'm just saying, I liked him in Happy Gilmore, and but I've been a fan of his, and I was excited to see this one because it seems like it's even more serious role than what I've seen him in.
Yeah, this and Punch Drunk are like the most...
and I don't know that I've seen Punch Drunk from beginning to end. So
it's pretty good. He's playing almost like a more grounded version of one of his comedic characters in that. Like it's just more like insular. It's not as like abrasive as some of like Billy Madison.
I need to go back and watch it.
Waterboy. I love Waterboy.
Waterboy's so good.
Waterboy's so that's the great thing. Like Happy Gilmore and Waterboy, like some of like the ones where he really is surrounded by a really great cast. Yeah. Like Kathy Bates and Henry Winkler and Carl Weathers and everyone and Happy Gilmore.
The girl from The Craft.
Oh, Fairuza Balk.
Yeah, Fairuza Balk. She's great.
Like and the guy I like the guy that's the other coach and he just is gibberish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he's in a good bit of his movies.
Yeah. I mean, I like he has this kind of staple.
Yeah.
And then they started to fall for me, like Mr. Deeds. I was like, okay.
I liked Mr. Deeds. Had the girl from West Virginia in it. Plays like the woman in the pizza store that clotheslines somebody.
Oh,
she was on Conchita, 2.5 Men or something. Yeah, Conchita.
Yeah, I forget her last name. Yeah.
But anyways, so I've been a fan of his. I liked seeing him in this role, and he did amazing. He made me. I kind of felt about him the way you felt about the other woman in Florida Project, because like every time he had a chance to redeem himself, he didn't. Yeah,
he just keeps digging himself further.
So I felt the same way you felt about her. But I will say it was still sad and very shocking when he gets shot at the end.
Yeah.
Like, I just wasn't expecting that. Mm-mm. Which neither was the one that was like his family, because you could see who also gets shot. I did like seeing Sandler in this, and I think he did amazing, and he really brought that character to life and made me feel everything I should have felt about that character. Yeah. I, however, am a little bit opposite in the fact that I like that he doesn't do these that much, because I think it makes it more special in a way.
Yeah, I guess so. I just wish his comedy movies weren't so dumb.
Right. But people like me have to have that stuff to watch, man. I don't know.
I guess so.
Like, if nobody makes it, what am I going to watch? Mulholland Drive?
That's the thing. Is like there's so many the landscape of film.
Yeah.
So many better movies you could be watching. Not that are released now.
Right.
Honestly, a lot of movies released now are not as interesting to me as stuff, especially from the 60s and 70s, that I still am finding new gems that I like to watch.
Yeah. To me, those are just old movies, man.
But they're better.
I mean, I don't disagree that there are some better ones.
Like comedies were just not as shoddily written and like just lazily put together. Like there was at least, even in the mediocre ones, there's still more professionalism behind the camera and on the page.
Yeah.
Than in stuff that gets thrown on Netflix every week.
Right. And I mean, I don't disagree with that.
I get that it makes it more special like every decade or so when he does do like a really good movie. Like there for a while, because he did Punch Drunk. I think that was like 2000 or 2001. Then he did Spanglish.
Around 2000?
2003, 2004.
Was it? Okay.
I think. So it was like, oh, maybe he's starting to turn into like, I don't know. I think that movie didn't really hit as hard as they were hoping.
It didn't. I don't think it did well.
I think it probably did pretty well on DVD. I like it. It's a good movie.
I mean, I don't think it did as well as some of his other movies do.
No. I mean, I don't think they were expecting like the Waterboy
Right.
level, but then Punch Drunk Love didn't do as well either. But that's
Right.
much lower budget. Whereas I think Spanglish, they spent a little bit more money on it
Mhm.
because it's James L. Brooks, so they're expecting like, let's get some Oscar noms out of this.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it does make it more special. You know, and I get it. If I was getting paid millions of dollars just hang out with my buddies
Right.
in
Exactly.
like Acapulco or whatever, and make a movie with Jennifer Aniston and all these people, like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure,
right.
why not?
I mean, I would.
I don't
do it,
blame
for
him.
sure.
I just wish he would do. I don't know. I wish they could still be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
'Cause
mean,
I like him.
and I like that when he does this, it is good. It's not
Yeah, I mean,
like if you and I don't think most people think, oh, Adam Sandler in a serious role. But when you do see Adam Sandler in a serious role, it's good.
yeah, I mean,
It's good.
he's picking good directors and good
right.
scripts and good actors to work with. Like, it's
Yeah.
not. He's not just like trying to get Oscar bait
Right.
kind of movies. Like, because this isn't like an Oscar kind of movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not typically the kind of movie they go for, but I mean, his performance was so like kind of universally praised.
Right.
But like what you were talking about, as far as it's kind of similar to Haley from Florida
Mhm.
Project. But we're at least here, I feel like Howard Sandler he's at least competent. It's just
Right.
it's like a gambling addiction.
It
It's
is.
like he's
yeah.
just addicted to the manic lifestyle that he's created, and that's compelling to watch.
Right. It is.
And you kind of know, like, this isn't it, but you like, I think in the back of your mind, you know, this isn't going to end well.
Yeah.
But you're hoping
Yeah.
every time. It's
I
like
was.
it's like Carrie. Every single time I watch Carrie, I'm like, oh, the prom's going so well. Please let
Please
it be.
don't dump the blood.
Yeah, please let it be different this time. And I'm genuinely feeling that. I'm so empathetic towards Carrie. And then the blood drops, and I'm like,
Oh no.
kill those mother.
Yeah. Let's do this.
And I mean, this puts me like the same way, like puts me in his shoes.
For sure.
And at the end of the movie, I'm like, oh man, he's gonna like he won the bet, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the big shocking ending, and it's like, damn.
Yeah. I definitely didn't see it coming.
No, because you're like, I think you really want him to succeed.
Well, and you're seeing in the face of the one that is like the main boss, although it's his family member,
Yeah.
you're seeing in his face like something has washed over him. Like, okay,
Yeah.
this is going to be okay.
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't have to hurt my relative. I don't have to. You see that in his face.
Eric Bagot, I can't pronounce his last name, but he
Yeah.
plays Arno. I think is his cousin.
That's the one I'm talking about. I
Um,
guess. Yeah.
I mean, you see in his face throughout the whole movie, like he doesn't want to beat him up and like
Right.
just to get his money back. Like I think he does love his cousin, and he doesn't
Yeah.
want to do this. And you see that in his face, and you see at the end, like he's happy for him, like
Mhm.
things are starting to work out. And then his idiot Goomba,
Yeah. Shoots
yeah, and
Shoots both of them.
just both of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they rob him too, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like, Jesus, and it's such a hard ending.
It is.
But and every time I'm just like, I don't think it's gonna happen, and it does.
Right.
It
It was definitely one of those that like I felt that shot. Like it was also a shot to my
yeah,
heart.
I mean that's the thing.
It was like, it was
this
so
is what's
real in
so,
there.
Like trouble. Like this is a great example of like stuff like I'm just gonna say it, John Wick 4 because we both seen it and we both hated it.
It's so great.
It's like there's a million gunshots, but I don't feel any of them. Whereas like two
Right.
gunshots or whatever here,
Yep.
and both of them are just like hitting you. Like I feel like
Exactly.
I got shot.
That's how I felt.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I
it's
was
like
saying. Like that's how I felt.
and that's kind of like how movies used to be.
Right.
Like back in the 70s, like you'd have these like crime films, and when something happened, you would feel it.
Right.
You know, like Thunderbolt and Lightfoot's a good one with Clint Eastwood and Jeff Bridges.
Mhm.
It's like there's not a lot of violence in the film, but when it happens, it hurts. It hurts to watch someone that you care about,
Right.
even if it's just a character in a movie, get shot or get hurt.
Yeah.
And Spielberg's always great about that. How like every Spielberg death is memorable, even the cartoony ones in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like he just has. I think it's just that his deep seated empathy that just comes through in all of his films, no matter if it's Indiana Jones or Schindler's List.
Right.
But
yeah, I think this one was another great. Of course, I liked Florida Project, and I was kind of surprised because, well, one of our coworkers might have told me that you didn't like Florida Project, and
I gotta stop telling anybody. Apparently, like what I thought of the movie.
Yes.
Yes, you have to stop telling Jordan what you think of the movie.
I was not going to call anybody out.
Jordan, you're getting called out, buddy.
But
you're on the list.
And I was kind of like surprised because I feel like these are two of the same style movies in the fact that they are a fly on the wall and like the story. But then once you explained your side, how obviously we watched Florida Project differently in a way. I was watching it through different angles, I think.
Yeah.
I guess would be the best way to describe it. I get where you're going with it. But when I first heard it, because of the way I watched Florida Project and the way I watched this one, I was like, they're the same movie. Like,
I mean, in a lot of ways, yeah.
In a lot of ways. I mean, obviously not the same movie whatsoever, but so I was really surprised. But, once we break them down, and you were talking about Haley on Florida Project, like I get it. This guy did have a little bit of redeeming, I don't know that I would say redeeming qualities, but a little bit of qualities that you could latch onto, whereas Haley doesn't.
Yeah, and I mean, I love it when a movie makes me fall in love with
the character that you hate.
Or somebody who's doing terrible things. Like that's compelling.
Right.
But there has to be something. I just maybe it's just me personally, that kind of behavior.
Right. Yeah.
It's just I can't stomach it.
Right. That's what it is. And then maybe I just know too many people or have met too many people in life like it. Where to me,
plenty of people like that.
I mean, honestly, like Haley in Florida Project just wasn't a surprise to me, and I think that's maybe why she also didn't stick out as much to me as the lead character.
Yeah.
Because to me, I've known people like that, and I've seen that.
That makes sense.
I think in both movies, the actors and actresses, whatever, did such a good job at bringing that character to the forefront. Now, this Uncut Gems, I think they originally tossed around somebody else as Howard.
Really? That's hard to imagine.
Right, Jonah Hill. And I could see that in a way, but
very different.
It would be very different, and the way that
he has
Adam
a different kind of manic personality than.
That's what I say. It would be different. This one, I think Adam Sandler just did a great job of going through a manic type addiction and lifestyle that just brought it, and it just made it feel so real, and that's why you cling to him a little bit.
And he's a little older too, so I just kind of buy it more from someone who's probably approaching 50.
Right. But he just made me feel gross a little bit.
And no, he's repulsive in a lot of ways. Like, and you're just like, he's so cringy in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but he did it so well that you also care for the character. And I know it goes to writing as well, but I think the acting makes a difference.
It does.
I mean, 100%. If they put somebody else in that role, I don't think it would have been as good.
I see like Jonah Hill, and all I see is his character from Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh, great movie.
I've seen trailers for it.
Well, then you might as well have just seen the movie.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, he plays like
that's what most movies are these days. I can just watch trailers.
I can see why they would want him.
That's
based on that movie, because he's kind of playing this like addictive, manic, like crazy person in that movie.
Yeah.
I could see that kind of, really, but I think Sandler's a better fit overall.
Yeah, that's where I was going with it. Is just like I could see Jonah Hill doing it. I think it'd be a totally different movie, and I don't think that I would care as much for the character that it would hurt at the end.
Yeah,
I didn't even expect to care if he died, to be honest, but it hit me, man. It hit me, and I was like, oh wow. And then I just love that shot when they're just like basically zooming in on Sandler's face as he's dead, and he has his eyes open, and you can see him behind his glasses, and I mean, it was just good, and really, I think his performance was amazing.
Well, it's just like the movie. It's like all the movie, the narrative, the editing. It's all been building to that moment.
Yeah.
Because I think doesn't. So I've seen the movie several times, and I watched all of it, but like the last 20 minutes this morning. Does it go in at the end? I just ran out of time. I'm sorry.
Go into what?
Like does it zoom into his eye, and then it goes into like the Chris okay, that's what I'm remembering. So it's kind of like how it starts, how it ends.
Yes, it does do that.
I love that wraparound.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
And it's like the whole movie is just like this, like chatter, the whole thing, and then it's just boom, and it's just that, and then you get to that moment, you're like, damn, the last 2 hours and 10 minutes have just been crazy, and then we just got here, and it's shocking, and it's not expected.
Right. And I will say this one's a little more like go, 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 go. Like it
doesn't stop.
It's busy. It doesn't stop from the beginning, but that's just because that's how this character's life is.
Yeah, the film reflects him.
He has an addiction.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say he owes all these people money, so there's also constantly somebody like yapping at him. So there is, like you were saying, that constant like chatter and
constant
this and
arguing
that.
and bickering. And
yes,
there's 14 people talking at the same time.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think this is like kind of what Florida Project needed. It needed a personality for the film to embody.
Okay.
Like I said, if it had been about Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
And you're following him, I think it would have been more. That would have been more. Well, first, it would have been allowed you to Haley to be more tolerable,
right?
But it just would have given me somebody more to latch onto, I guess. But
yeah, and I get that view.
Yeah, it's kind of funny we both chose these, and I'm watching Florida Project. I'm like, this is a lot like Uncut Gems.
Yeah, I'm glad you thought that too, because that's what I was thinking because I watched Florida Project first.
Yeah,
and then I watched Uncut Gems, and I was like, oh, okay. This is kind of the same movie in a way.
Yeah, going beyond that, I just love it was shot on 35 millimeter film.
Yeah,
I love the look of the movie. It really
gives it that like grit that it needs.
Yeah, I mean, there's a grain. I've got the 4K, the Criterion disc, and it's beautiful. And just the way the light hits faces, especially in 35 millimeter, just looks better. And there's that texture, and it just gives it that, even though it's set present day, it gives it that almost 70s feel,
right?
That I really like.
Yeah,
so there's nothing I'd really change about the movie. I like it more each time I watch it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I would change either. I think you're right in the way that it's shot, and it's beautifully shot. Like I said, I thought Florida Project was.
Yeah,
it's just the type of. And maybe it's the 35 millimeter, what you're talking about, but it really pulls you in to, like you said, kind of just watching it, almost like a reality show about a pawn shop. That's how I felt a couple times, which was good for me because I love reality shows and I love those ones about pawn shops. So, I mean, specifically not Pawn Stars, but
what do you got for me today?
The one with the what?
What do you got for me today?
Yeah, the one that was like more angry. He would yell at the people and kick them out and stuff. I don't know. Hardcore Pawn. That's the name of it.
Oh my God.
This reminded me of Hardcore Pawn half the time.
I'm ashamed to admit I have probably watched a few episodes of that.
Yeah, because it's good. It's good trash reality. But honestly, this did make me think of that a couple times.
No, yeah, like when they're in the shop and like there's just chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So I like that. I like that it felt like I was watching
like
something real.
I think the first time Kevin Garnett comes into the shop and Howard's constantly like, don't lean on the glass, don't lean on the glass.
Yeah.
And then he leans on the glass and breaks the top of the glass case.
Right.
And it's another, like, that's been like he keeps saying it to him. Mm-hmm. So in the back of your head, like, don't lean on the glass, don't lean on the glass. And you're going to lean on the glass.
Right.
And then it happens. It's like, it's kind of like a little microcosm of the whole film, you know? And they do that a lot in the movie. I think it's just brilliantly made.
I agree. I think it was. I mean, I loved this movie. I liked both of them really well.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like, man, I think I'm an A24 fan. I need to go back and watch Hereditary because so far I think that's the only one that I've mentioned that's been A24 that I was hung up about.
We should pick that one at some point because
we can do that.
It's been
and then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. We'll do that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But yeah, I think this was great. I think Sandler is great in it. And I mean, I agree with the buzz. I think he might have deserved at least a nomination for this.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was something because I remember him being very vocal about like I'd better get a nomination.
Well, I think he's just I don't necessarily think he's someone that really cares too much about it.
You don't think he was serious at all?
No, I mean I think he really found the character that invigorating.
Okay.
And it's like by the time you get to that, it's like, yeah, sure. And then
right.
I don't necessarily think he was serious. He did win Independent Spirit Award for best male lead. I know he wasn't nominated for Oscars at all. Won some film critics award. Yeah, he got the National Board of Review best actor that year.
Oh, okay. Which, like you said, this isn't really like a movie they normally look at.
He was snubbed for the Golden Globes too.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's a good movie. I really
Great
enjoyed
movie.
it.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just rambling.
No, it's fine. No, we were talking about it. It's what happens. We ramble. Don't know if anybody has ever listened to this podcast before, but welcome to Rambling 101. Yeah, so
A24.
A24, I guess that wraps up
Strikes
the
again.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So, but yeah, both movies were really good. I think A24, like I was saying earlier, I want to go through and I'm going to use Kanopy because they have a section for it.
Yeah, they
which
had like
is
30
so
of them
great.
or something. And
They
they had
what?
bodies, bodies, bodies. You like
Yeah.
that? That was A24.
Yeah, that was one I chose on here. But I love that they have that A24 section, and I'm going to use Kanopy to just go through it. But both of these were great movies, and I'm so glad we did this episode. I think it was a fun episode.
It was great. So next time.
Next time we're going to have Todd, our director, back on.
Yeah.
And you may have heard him in previous episodes, such as, let's see.
Troll 2.
What?
Troll 2.
Troll 2. Oh, hey, Todd. Oh, hi.
The
Yeah.
room.
Oh,
The room.
oh, hi.
Hi, Todd.
Yeah. That was, what did we do? Disaster Artist and
The
Best
Room.
Worst Movie Ever?
No, in the room.
Oh,
Best
what's
Worst
Best Worst
Movies
Movie
is for Troll 2. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
documentary
Well,
about
anyways,
Troll
so those
2. Then
episodes.
Did we do
and-
another one? We did all the live
The
one,
live
Masters
one.
of the Universe and Conan.
Yeah. So he's been on here a couple times. We always have a good time.
Yeah.
I think he is choosing, you'd have to tell me
He's choosing 2 Christopher Guest movies,
that's who it is.
Waiting for Guffman and Best in Show.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm excited. The cast is a lot of the same cast.
Yeah, he uses a lot of
And Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy are in
Levy.
both of those.
Yeah, and usually he's in them somewhere.
Oh,
too.
okay. I did not know that. I'll have to
Well, he's
learn about
the
that.
And Best in Show,
It-
he's the one with the bloodhound, right?
Okay.
yeah, I think so. And
Okay.
well, I mean, he's the six-fingered man in Princess Bride.
Okay.
You remember?
No.
The blank look on your face indicates that you did not remember.
I did watch that movie, though.
You did watch it. That's
And
why
I
know.
liked it. I
That's
remember
why
I liked
mentioned
it. Yeah. But, that was like year one.
Yeah, that was like our fourth
Episode 2.
podcast or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't remember that far.
It was a minute ago.
Yeah. So we're going to do 2 Christopher Guest movies that Todd chose.
Yeah.
Now, you've seen both of them.
It's been a long time.
Okay.
But,
And
yeah.
he's seen both of them. I clearly have not seen either.
You
so,
probably, I mean, I don't think you've seen anything he's made. You haven't seen Spinal Tap, right?
no.
Yeah.
So this is going to be like Aaron's education of
love-
Christopher Guest. Schitt's Creek,
Schitt's Creek.
which is
Which is-
Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't know if he had anything involved with that, but it definitely feels like a Christopher Guest
Okay.
movie /
Now,
show.
that was Dan Levy's show.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever.
At
Like,
least as far as I remember.
well, I mean, like he wrote it and produced it and stuff.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, that's cool. Good for him. But like, I mean, that like just the. I guess he got it from his dad because his dad was in so many things
Yeah.
with Christopher Guest that it's just like kind of. That's whatever, like the style,
Right.
of almost like mockumentary style
Exactly.
comedy. I think you'll probably end up liking it.
I'm actually really excited about both the movies. I saw trailers for them.
Yeah,
So
you'll like them.
I'm excited for the next episode. I've been pretty excited for the past like few episodes we've been doing. We've been doing some, in my opinion, really good episodes.
I think we have too. I'm gonna have to pick something you're gonna hate.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for that shoe to drop, but I know it's at least not for 2 more episodes. So I'm excited for the next 2 episodes.
Well,
But
I got one. I think I got one planned for the one after that.
okay, I'll think of one. No worries. All
How many
right.
more Melissa McCarthy movies can you pick? There's
How about-
plenty of them.
How many have I made you watch? One?
Just one. I know.
Have you seen The Heat?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, that's so good though.
That one's tolerable.
That one's great. Sandra Bullock is amazing. But anyways, so that's what we're going to do next time. Join us on the next podcast where we will have Todd as our guest. And until then, I'm Aaron,
I'm Josh.
and this has been The Real Opposites.